Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing our review of the Ninja Foodi NeverStick Premium pans. In this video, we'll be dealing with the 12-piece set. So you ready? Let's get into this. One quick note, this review is based upon the things that we feel are important. That might be a little bit different for you, so what we recommend doing is after watching our video, you watch a couple of other videos from different creators. That way you'll get a much wider range of opinions and concerns, and you'll be able to make a much more informed buying decision. And that's what's really important. This set comes with an 8-inch fry pan, a 10¼ inch fry pan, a big 12-inch fry pan, a 5-quart saute, 6.5-quart stock pot, a 3.5-quart saucepan, and last but not least, a smaller 2.5-quart saucepan. So in total, that's 7 pans. You've got the stock pot, the saute pan, the 3 fry pans, and the 2 saucepans. In addition to those, you get 5 lids like these of varying sizes. They're all glass, but they're rimmed with polished stainless steel, and they have cast stainless handles. And on the handles, you can see the Ninja logo stamped right in there. You'll notice I said there's 7 pans but 5 lids, so that means you got 2 pans that don't have lids. But fortunately, when Ninja designed this set, those other 2 pans are interchangeable with 2 of the lids. So although you only have the 5 lids, all 7 pans will accept a lid from the set. The only time you're going to have a problem with that is if you're trying to use 2 different pans at the same time that use the same size lid. Then you might have a little bit of a problem because every lid is different sized. As far as construction goes, we'll go ahead and start with the lids. As I mentioned before, they are glass. I was never really a proponent of glass lids before. I always preferred the stainless ones. But glass lids definitely have their advantages, especially if you want to be able to see the food you're cooking without having to take the lid off. One thing missing on these though is ventilation. Most of the time you'll have a little vent hole or something like that, so you can release pressure without the lid starting to kind of chatter a little bit like this on you. And these don't have that, so they will do that chattering thing. And there's always the fact that since it's glass, you do run the risk of these breaking if you drop them. On the bright side though, to be totally honest, I don't remember the last time I actually dropped the lid. So probably not that big of an issue, at least for me. That might be a little bit different for you though, so one of those things for you to think about. The handles on these seem to stay nice and cool. I never had a problem with these being hot while I was trying to take the lid off or anything when I had something covered, so that's a big positive. For the pan construction, we'll just go through one pan because the construction on all of them is identical and I don't want to waste too much of your time. You'll see that the handles here are a little bit on the long side. That could be a little bit good or a little bad. If you got big hands like me, it makes it easier to grip. But if you got smaller hands, it was going to feel like kind of a long handle. These are made out of cast stainless steel and they seem to stay nice and cool to the touch. Never had a problem with these warming up on me or anything like that, except if you put them in the oven. But that goes with any pan in the known universe. You put that in the oven, you're going to want to use an oven mitt when you take it out because that will heat up under direct heat like that for sure. One critique of these handles is you'll see how thick this handle is here, especially where you got the hole coming through here to hang it. That can be a little bit of a problem if you hang your pans like I do. It just depends on the hooks you're using. My hooks are a little bit on the narrow side, so when these hang, they don't really hang straight, they hang a little bit cockeyed, just because the curvature of the hook is more narrow than the width here of the handle, so it doesn't quite sit there really nice. That irritated me a little bit, but you know what? It's not really a quality thing, it's more of a design choice. But if you hang your pans, something you should be aware of. The handles are connected to the pans with dual rivets. We didn't have any problem with anything not feeling secure or anything like that. But then again, we haven't really had these that long. In the future, we'll probably do like a 6-month or a 1-year update or something so you can see. But nothing was loose out of the box, which honestly is kind of bare minimum. I wouldn't expect that to happen anyway. In fact, if it did, that would be a massive negative. These have a shot blasted hard anodized exterior, so it should be pretty durable. And they're a little bit thicker here at the edges of the pans to add a little bit of durability. The construction includes a stainless steel induction compatible plate down here. It's actually a really nice looking plate. One thing about these pans though is, although I kind of feel like these are pretty pedestrian looking, the coolest part to me is that plate, but it's always facing down. So really they just kind of look like ordinary pans. Nothing to really get too excited about as far as looks go. But when they're hanging, they look really cool. And they're usually hanging, so there's that. Inside of all of these, there's a 4.5mm aluminum base, so that really helps spread the heat out and heat everything evenly. In our testing, that was really a thing. We didn't have a whole lot of hot spots, but then again, We're using induction here, and induction heats really evenly anyway, so your experience might be a little bit different. I think you'll probably be in pretty good shape, but I can't guarantee that because I wasn't able to test it that way. But what you really buy these pans for is the non-stick surface. It's the Ninja Foodi NeverStick patented surface. Evidently, these are manufactured at 30,000 degrees, and that's somehow supposed to extend the life of your non-stick surface. In any case, Ninja guarantees that these aren't going to chip, stick, or flake for a really long time. And in fact, they have a 10-year warranty on these pans to back that up, which to me is pretty outstanding. However, what really made me want to review these pans are the claims that they make about their non-stick. They're cadmium, lead, and PFOA free. Most non-stick pans aren't, and that ends up being a problem down the road. If you start getting flaking or anything like that on the surface, then you're ingesting chemicals and things like that. So non-stick pans have always had that stigma that they're unhealthy to use because you can start getting bits of toxic chemicals into your body if you scratch that surface. They're supposed to be dishwasher safe, which again is one of those other things that can ruin non-stick pans. They're metal utensils safe, which is normally another big no-no. And they're also safe in the oven up to 500 degrees. And if you've ever had a regular non-stick, you know, never put that thing in the oven. Another thing is the durability, in which Ninja says you can aggressively scrub these pans if you're cleaning them, and you're not going to have to worry about wrecking the non-stick surface. Again, if you've ever owned other non-stick pans, you'll know that you got to be really careful on what you clean that surface with, because you can almost use your fingernail to scratch that surface right off. So all in all, Ninja says you get really great non-stick pans that are almost bomb-proof and don't have any of the failings of normal non-stick pans. Sounds pretty great, doesn't it? But how true is that? For our test, we did a few things. First, I wanted to find out how well it works in the oven. So I seared a steak on medium-high heat way too long on the cooktop, and then we moved it into the oven at 500 degrees and let it sit in there for about 20 minutes. And then I went ahead and pulled it out of the oven and checked the sear. And the sear was pretty good. It came out pretty close to cast iron. After that, I went ahead and let that pan cool down completely on the countertop, and when I went to clean it, almost everything just rinsed off. All the remaining bits were on there, came off really easy with really light scrubbing. If I tried to do that with stainless, I'd be scrubbing all day, and if I tried to do that with another non-stick pan, I'd probably end up having to throw the pan away. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Recently I did a live stream, and on that we went ahead and did some testing on the Ninja non-sticks as well. First I threw a whole bunch of sharp cheddar cheese on the pan and just let it sit there and cook and cook and cook for about 15 minutes. I really just let it get annihilated, and then when I got to the point where I wanted to go ahead and take it off, look how easy this cheese just kind of comes off. It almost just falls off all by itself. That was pretty impressive. And then for our other test, I just turned my metal spatula over and just scratched the surface of that pan a little bit. I didn't do it too terribly hard, but I did it a lot harder than you would do under regular use. The Ninja Foodi NeverStick held up to that really well. At first I didn't think it made any marks at all, but if you look at it really close in just the right light, you could see there's a little bit of light scratching in it, but it didn't seem to have any negative effect on how well the pan worked. That being said, even though they held up well, these pans are not bomb-proof, so don't go too crazy on that kind of stuff. Probably eventually that might affect how well the pans work, and at the very least it's going to make them look like crap. So probably best to avoid doing that on purpose. Next, we went ahead and fried an egg on it, since that seems to be sort of a de facto standard test that you do with non-stick pans. And just about every non-stick pan I've used in the past, I've always had problems with eggs sticking. But look at the results I had with the Ninja pan. There was a little bit of sticking right around the edges of the egg, but that released really easily, and after that the thing just kind of swooshes around in the pan all by itself. That's the best result I ever remember having with something like that. The next test I did was the infamous crustless pizza test. I ended up making a video about that recipe that I've linked above if you want to check that out. Basically, I just filled the pan with sharp cheddar cheese, pepperoni, and mushrooms, and just let that thing cook into the pan until I had a big cheese cracker. And then I let that pan cool down completely to try to get that cheese to stick in there as much as possible. When I went to remove the cheese from the pan, you can see all I had to do is use a rubber spatula right around the edges, and the entire thing just kind of flopped right out of there. That was impressive. And by the way, all these tests were done in that same pan I did all the scratch testing on, just to find out if all the scratching I did was going to do anything to the non-stick surface. The last test I did was a dishwasher test. Normally I don't like to put anything in the dishwasher except plates and silverware. I never like putting my pans in there, but Ninja says these are dishwasher safe, so I went ahead and put one in there just to test it so you can see what it does. When it came out of the dishwasher, yeah, the pan was nice and clean, but if you turn it over here and look at the induction plate on the bottom of the pan, it's pretty severely tarnished. I mean, that thing looks bad. Scrubbing it didn't seem to help, and what I ended up having to do was use Barkeeper's Friend on it and scrub it pretty vigorously with that to get it to come clean. And even after that, I still had little bits of tarnished area in the crevices and stuff like that. So in my opinion, putting these things in the dishwasher would be a hard pass. Also, just like with any stainless steel, these will discolor a little bit. In fact, you can see this pan, which is our most used one. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a little bit discolored here in the center portion. Again, Barkeeper's Friend cleans that up really well, and it's not tarnished the way it was in the dishwasher. So that cleans up in just a few seconds, and it's gonna happen over time. So just so you know, they're not zero maintenance on keeping them looking nice like that. But it's also something to stay aware of. One of these things I like most about these pans is the fact that even though you have the 7 pans and the 5 lids, they've gone through the trouble to make sure that all 7 pans have a lid that'll fit, which means they've taken precautions with the sizes to make sure that you've got 2 that are interchangeable. Also, if you don't have a full set of pans, this set has a really great variety. You could probably use 1 extra stock pot, but really most people aren't going to need more than 1. And the size selection that you get with the saucepans and the fry pans goes from small to pretty large. If you have a set like this, you probably don't need another set. The only other question I have about these pans has to do with long-term durability, and unfortunately, with a review like this, I haven't really had them long enough to be able to give you a definitive answer on that. But just the fact that Ninja's offering such a long warranty on these makes me feel just a little bit better about that. Remember, non-stick pans don't typically last you longer than maybe a year and a half, 2 years if you baby them, and Ninja's guarantee is for 10. We'll put up another video about these in about 6 months just to show you how they've held up, and hopefully they'll still be performing the way they are right now. So at the end of the day, if you're in the market for non-sticks, you might be pretty happy with these and it might be worth checking out. If you want some more info about these Ninja Foodi NeverSticks, I do have an Amazon affiliate link down in the description of the video. If you purchase anything through those links, I do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price you pay 1 cent. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about Joe's Phenomenal, you can watch a couple more of our videos, or you can check us out online at joesphenomenal.com. I thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your busy day to watch this video. It really means a lot to me, and I can't wait to see you back again here really soon. So until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.